Kidding, starring me, Jenny Euster.
And me, Kamiko Moralia.
Our first guest today is the editor-in-chief of the Warrior Chronicles, Grace Dreyer, and the secretary of the newspaper, Sydney Orndorff.
Next up, we will talk to the two senior captains of the girls basketball team, Hannah Lombardo and Sarah Weber.
Kamiko and I are getting used to being on TV, but for students in the TV and Communications Academy, the Studio News class, the Journalism class, Video/Photography Club, and the newspaper, they got a first-hand experience with being on live TV during a visit to Good Morning America in New York City.
And be sure to stay tuned for the final segment of our show, K Jenga, where Jenna and I will be answering some questions about ourselves as we play Jenga.
Joining me now are Grace Dreyer, the editor-in-chief of the Warrior Chronicles, and the secretary of the newspaper, Sydney Orndorff. Hello guys, how are you doing today?
Good.
Good. So let's get started with the questions. How long have you guys been doing the newspaper club?
I started newspaper club my freshman year.
Freshman year for me too.
So what's different about the newspaper this year?
This year we have a remodeled print edition that we're releasing once a month, and then we also added the online edition. It's been really successful.
I know you guys are trying to reach a larger audience with what you guys write. How are you doing that?
So we're trying to bring it to places around town like the marketplace and Wawa possibly, so we hope that will get us a larger crowd.
So where else can we find the newspaper?
You can find it in the IMC.
You can also find it online. All the students were automatically subscribed, so they should be receiving emails about it. But if not, you can go to thewarriorchronicles.edublogs.org.
Well, I'll definitely be reading some of your articles soon, and thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.
Look for the next issue of the Warrior Chronicles coming out soon, and we'll be right back with the next segment of the JK Show.
Rehearsals for the Addams Family have been in full swing for the past few months, and it will all pay off on March 6th, 7th, and 8th. Tickets are on sale right now at nehs.booktix.com, so be sure to get them before they sell out.
Welcome back to the JK Show. Now I have with me our seniors Sarah Weber and Hannah Lombardo from the girls basketball team. Hi guys, thank you for joining me today. How are you doing?
Good.
So how's your season going so far?
Our season's going very well. Actually, we're 8-4 right now. We've had some pretty tough losses the past couple weeks, but we're still ranked number 3 in power points for Central Jersey Group 1, so I really think that we've set ourselves up for a great run at states.
It's fantastic.
So, what was your guys' initial reaction when you found out you moved up a division this year?
I was personally very excited. I know last year we had a great run. We actually went undefeated in the division, and it was not as challenging as it could have been. So I was actually very excited to hear that we moved up, and then we were going to face some more equal competition, especially for our senior year. I was really excited.
So what was the hardest part of the season for you guys?
I think the hardest part of our season so far is sometimes our inconsistency. Some quarters will play 110%, and then other quarters will kind of fade away, and we won't play the defense that we know how to play, or we won't produce on offense. So I think that moving forward, we just really need to stay consistent and play 100% and like the way we know how to play throughout every quarter of every game.
So with that, what would you say is the most difficult part being captains of the team?
Well, last year we had some really strong leadership on the team, and I think we kind of stepped back last year because we let them kind of take the lead in it. But this year, it's really just us seniors, so we had to really step up and just be our leaders for the team. So.
What's one word to describe your team?
I think one word that would describe our team is probably heart. I feel like no matter in practice, in a game, or just hanging out with our team just always has heart for the sport, like for each other. Whenever we're playing, we always just give 110%. Like our effort is never questioned anytime we play the game.
A lot of us basketball isn't our number one sport, so I can definitely see the hard work because they have to put in a lot more work than others do that have given the skill. So I think we just work really hard and have a lot of heart.
So speaking of being the senior leader of your team, how does it feel to be moving to college now, to be playing at Kane University?
I'm very excited to play at the collegiate level. I've always loved basketball ever since I was little, and I would hate to never play again. So I'm just really excited that I get to continue getting better and improving my skill at the collegiate level.
Well, thank you guys for joining us today. It was really fun talking to you guys.
Thanks for having us.
If you're alumni or a resident of New Egypt, I'm sure you will enjoy one of the numerous girls basketball games left of the season. Come out and support the girls and the rest of our winter sports, which is posted on the NEHS website.
The 2020 basketball season is coming to an end, and the seniors on the boys basketball team will be recognized on February 20th. So come out and support them in their fight against South Hunterdon.
Here's a clip from a recent edition of Good Morning America. You might recognize some of the faces in the crowd because they are New Egypt students who got to be part of the show's studio audience. Here to talk with us is Mr. Armstrong. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right.
Well, how did the students get to go on this trip?
Well, first of all, they had to get up real early in the morning because it's a live show, right? And it was in New York City. So we had to be at the studio for 7 in the morning. So we were in front of the building at 4:30 in the morning to get on the bus. Now, the kids that got to go on the trip, some of them were you guys, right, from the studio news class. Some of them were academy students. Some of them were Mr. Wilno's journalism class, some kids from the newspaper, and also a few students from the video and photography club.
What do the students get out of this experience?
Well, we do shows all the time, like right now, right? And you've seen a little bit about what production is like in this kind of studio and out here in the IMC. So I wanted the kids to see what it's like to be in a real, actual production studio, right? And also to see how a live show works. You know that when we do things, sometimes we have some mess ups, right? That helps us with our blooper reel that we do at the end of the year. But I wanted to see in a live situation, were they able to just stop and restart? No, right? So they had to keep going. Did we see any mess ups when they were there?
Yes.
Right? But the people at home don't know because they did what? What did they do when they messed up? They just kept going, right? So I wanted you guys who are doing most of the on-camera stuff to see what it's like for people who are in that environment, and then for the rest of the kids to see the studio environment, all the different crew positions, right? We saw lots of different people doing different jobs during the show, right? And when the show goes to commercial at home, what were they doing in the studio?
They were setting up for the next segment.
Setting up for the next segment. So there's always something going on, even though people at home are just seeing a commercial, right? So I wanted you guys to see and experience what a real live television show is all about.
Well, what was your favorite memory from the trip?
Well, I must say one of my favorite memories was seeing the two of you doing the intro to our news show on the actual Good Morning America set, right? And it was fun getting to talk to one of the people who was the stage manager, right? He gave you guys some good advice about how you could start off a career and what you should be doing now to prepare yourself, right? What did you guys like most about the trip?
Well, I thought it was really cool to get to talk to him because it gave us some experience and he also taught us how to get into a union because it's very complicated. So I feel like that gives us some insight when we get to later years of college.
My favorite part was getting to the studio and getting to walk up the steps in the building and then actually getting our codes handed to the people and then walking onto the stage and then looking at it and just being wow, we're actually about to be watching a live show.
Yeah, even though we're just a bunch of kids from a high school, they treated us like VIPs. They gave us nice seats. We were in a lot of the shots that ended up being on air at the show, and getting the time to talk to someone who's been working on Good Morning America for 40 years. That was really special.
Now, since this was such a great experience for the classes to go on, what are your plans for next year with this trip?
Well, before we even get to what we're going to do next year, in spring, we're going to visit NBC 10 in Philadelphia. One of the alumni from this high school, Keith Jones, is the anchor for their 5 o'clock news, and he's invited us to come and take a tour of their studio. So it'll be a little different because it won't be during a live show. It'll be in between the newscasts, but he's going to take us around. We went a couple years ago, and he spent a good amount of time with us, showing us all the different parts of his routine and different parts of the studio. And the other thing that I want to say before we finish up, I'm hoping we can go back to Good Morning America again. I think it's really valuable for you guys to see that. So one thing I also want to say is that another alumni from New Egypt is responsible for us actually being able to go visit Good Morning America. Elisa Tang is a producer for their website. She produces online content. And I had contacted her when I found out she got the job at Good Morning America. And I said, would it be possible for us to come there and visit? And she put us in contact with the studio managers and set us up to be able to go there. So I really appreciate the alumni, both Keith Jones, Elisa Tang, and other alumni that have helped out this program and really have given you guys a chance to see some things that a lot of kids don't really have a chance to see and do. And also, someday one of you guys might be in a position just like Keith or Elisa, and I hope I'll be able to ask you guys to have our kids come and visit you. So I hope you guys had a good time on the trip and learned a few things, and yeah, I think we'll be able to go back next year.
Well, thank you for coming today.
It was great to be here, and you guys are doing a really good job with the show.
We'll be right back as you'll get to learn a little bit more about Kamiko and I with K Jenga.
Come out and support the senior boys on April 3rd for a night of laughs and entertainment as they compete head-to-head for the title of Mr. NEHS.
Welcome back to the JK Show. On this segment, called K Jenga, Jenna and I will be playing a game of Jenga while going back and forth answering questions about ourselves. So let's get started.
Okay.
Okay. For the middle one. So if you could be in any TV show, what would it be?
Grey's Anatomy, because it's my favorite TV show, except all the characters dying part.
Okay.
Okay. Name one of your biggest pet peeves.
Ooh, my biggest pet peeve. I hate when people chew gum and like make like the bubbles and then pop it, and just like super annoying with it. 3 things you can't live without.
Probably honesty, fuzzy blankets, and Netflix. Yeah, probably.
Okay, here we go. We found one. Okay.
Okay. What would you do if you won the lottery?
If I won the lottery, I'd probably just get a nice house near the beach so I can go to the beach every day. And I'd buy, a lime green Jeep.
A lime green Jeep. Okay.
Always wanted one.
Oh, you gotta put it on the buy list. Okay.
So, what's your most embarrassing moment?
Probably at the beginning of this cross-country season when I tripped on a route at the little hill in the first part. I stumbled down at like 7 in the morning. That was not fun.
I think we've all done that before. This thing's on thin ice
Maybe
right
try to
now.
grab one of the sides.
I see, like, I get nervous about the sides. I see, like, if this falls. There we go. Oh my god.
Can we go?
This thing's about to fall at any second.
Okay. Well, thank you for this. What stresses you out the most?
Probably when I just have so much work to do and I don't know where to start, so I just like get all stressed out. So that probably just like basically a lot of work just like stresses me out.
Kill me. No.
Oh gosh. So if you won the lottery, what would you use the money on?
Probably to get myself a car from the 70s. Probably the one that my dad has, the like 1970 Chevy Z28, or I think Camaro. That's not even Chevy. Okay.
It's gonna.
This might be the conclusion of our Jake. Oh.
Oh God, Kamiko, look what you've done.
No big deal. No! That doesn't count because I put it back on.
Okay.
Okay, we're still alive.
Well, see, now I'm in a horrible spot. It's like a death wish.
Easy.
She's in front too.
No. Oh my God, Kamiko, there's only one thing supporting this.
Oh god, wait, put it back on now.
It's gonna just.
Oh.
Look what you've done to me. It's already shaking.
So Jenna, if you won this game of Jenga, how would you feel? It's not knocking it over. Oh.
Okay. I don't know, probably happy, but
This
at
thing-
the rate we're going, no.
the rate we're going.
What's your celebrity crush?
My celebrity crush, Bryce Harper, all the way.
Who is that?
Oh my gosh, I don't know who Bryce Harper is. He's a baseball player. He plays for the Phillies now. He used to be on the Nationals.
I want to know sports.
Bryce Harper is my favorite celebrity ever. He's so good at hitting. Wish I could hit like that.
That was so slow of me. Okay. Do it. Full send it.
Folsom. Okay, we're gonna do it.
Just rip it out. Just like rip.
Pretty good. I mean,
How did I do that? That's a good question.
me and Jenna are now the best Jenga players around. So everyone, watch out.
I think this is the best I've ever played Jenga.
Me too.
I don't know how this is staying up right now. Anything on the bottom is a no.
I feel like I just gotta do it though. I mean,
Just gotta end the game.
I just gotta. Jenna, we're gonna be here forever. I don't know.
Just rip one from the bottom. I just say.
I think I'm just gonna go for the side one. Oh no. Oh.
Okay. You know, I think it's time to end the game.
Are we gonna call it a tie, Jenna?
I think we have to.
Think we are.
Yeah. Well, thank you to everyone who was on the show today.
Tune in next time for the JK Show. See you later.